Hi, my name is Chris Okersey and I'm with the irrigation information website smartirrigation.com. Today's video is about pop-up spray heads. And stay tuned to the end of the video and we'll give you our opinion on the best overall pop-up spray head. Pop-up spray heads come in a variety of sizes and makes, but this is the first one they come in. It's a 2-inch spray. I can't imagine what you would do with something like this because it's too short to pop over your lawn, especially as the ground rises, because the thatch becomes thicker over time and dirt blows in and the ground will rise. And that's why we have to actually raise heads every once in a while, 5 to 10 years, so that you don't lose your coverage. With this, you're going to lose your coverage really quickly. The only time I've ever had to use one of these is when someone put dirt over top asphalt and expected us to water the area. And there literally wasn't enough space to put in a deeper head. Other than that, don't use them. The tallest pop-up spray heads come in a 12-inch. And these are used for flower beds and shrub beds. They are a bit of a pain to install because in colder climate regions, you have to put the supply into the very bottom of the head, so that's quite a bit of digging. People in the warmer regions, lucky, they get to install the water supply into the side, so that could save some digging. Now, when a 12-inch pop-up isn't enough, in the case of some shrub beds, etc., what is used is called a riser or long nipple. A riser is the most visible part of an irrigation system. Everyone sees it. So let's keep the aesthetics of your yard good and don't make an ugly contraption by putting a metal stake and tying it with tie wraps to support the riser or keep it from breaking. Or don't screw a spray head on top of a riser. That's just wrong and a waste of money. We recommend a transparent riser for the best aesthetics like this one. These are available on Amazon and they come in a variety of sizes. They also come in black and they are impact and vandal resistant. They will not fade in the sun over time because they're UV stabilized. Unlike some of the PVC risers that you will find have a chalky appearance or start fading over time. And no, like some people have thought, they won't grow algae. The chalky appearance of a riser, if you see it in the ground, is basically the plastic is breaking down in the sun and the chemicals are leaching out of it into the soil. Probably not a good thing. Better to use a UV stabilized riser. So this is how you attach a spray nozzle onto a riser. It's called a shrub adapter or a riser adapter. Remember to put a screen on, and then you put your nozzles. So these are female threaded nozzles. This one's a Rainbird, Hunter, and many other brands will fit on any shrub adapter. One good thing about this riser is actually you can see if your nozzle's getting plugged up. You can also get shrub adapters in a male configuration. So the nozzle, if it's a male threaded nozzle, you can get that to work too, but these are very rare. We have found that the best shrub adapter is the Hunter Pro Spray. I have purchased other ones in the past. I was on a trip to California and we installed them, and the first winter every one of them broke because it was from a distributor who had made their own custom version, and they were a warm climate location. All their stores are in a warm climate. So not all riser adapters are the same. So this is why this is our choice. I know this is controversial, but we believe in using thread seal tape on PVC to PVC threads, and especially with the Samson Riser, because the Samson Riser is many times stronger than PVC and it will strip your fittings every time without using a thread seal tape. It also adds flexibility to your fitting, and in the future it makes it easier to remove nipples and change things. So the thread seal tape, in my opinion, is a good thing. We have put links in the description below for those that are having trouble finding the Samson Riser, and for the Hunter shrub adapter as well. The two leading manufacturers of sprays are Rainbird. They have a good one in the 1800 series, and Hunter, which has a Pro Spray series. Hunter hasn't always started out with a good head like the Pro Spray. Their original head was called the SRS, and it looked just like this. And they had a problem. Over time, they would actually start going flaky. A flaky head is a head basically that will pop up and it will change its direction every time it goes up and down. So it's not keeping the setting anymore because it's worn out. Hunter's had a couple of models of their sprays that have actually done that. First, their original one here, and then the early versions of the Pro Spray had that same problem. Now here's one we have found and we've taken it out of the ground. You will notice that the insides have this small plastic ribbing that just wasn't quite enough. We'll show you a new one today though. You'll notice it's changed quite a bit. They've engineered that problem out of it. So the new Pro Sprays, I've never seen that happen on a new vintage Pro Spray. But if you've had a bad experience with a Hunter spray in the past that has gone flaky on you, that's why I mentioned it. They've solved the problem. One thing I like about the Pro Spray, and this is how you set it. You basically install it in the ground and you can turn the turret, it just ratchets in the ground. And it has a very easy on the hand ratcheting system. The Rainbird 1800 is a very long lasting head. It's one of the first sprays out there, and I have never seen it go flaky, any model of these. It's quite hard to ratchet in the ground comparing to the Hunter Pro Spray. It's harder on the hands, which basically means setting the 2-inch nozzle with your bare hands is a nightmare. You might be tempted to use pliers to set a spray head, or a rotor for that matter, by putting the teeth on the stem. Never do that, because it actually will scratch or score the stem, and then every time in the future as it goes up and down, it will wear the rubber seal. So you'll prematurely reduce the lifespan of your head. What we recommend is actually putting a cloth over the head first and then using the pliers, or you can check out our video where we've actually modified a pair of pliers with a rubber coating, and makes a nice tool for setting heads. And if you've heard of any out there, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. I would be very interested to find one of those. One thing I'm disappointed with the 1800s is they've discontinued the 3-inch pop-up. So basically it goes from 2-inch to 4-inch, and that means when you wanted to use the 3-inch, let's say you're replacing a 2-inch with something that needs to be a little taller because the ground has risen, we would actually screw in a 3-inch that would work just nice and make a little better head for actually coverage. Now you can't do that. Or if you get a 3-inch that breaks, what are you going to do? You basically have to dig the whole thing out and put in a deeper system. Or Hunter still makes a 3-inch, so that is an option. Rainbird does make a head that is easier on the hands to turn, and that's a consumer level head called the 600 series. But what I found is it's very light duty. You don't want to step on it or put the wheel of a lawn tractor over it by any means, because it's, in my experience, they just don't last like the 1800 heads. So in my opinion, it's better to go with a professional quality parts rather than going to the consumer level all the time. Spray heads, there are a few various ways to attach these to the pipe in the ground. One way is you can use a nipple to get the right height in the ground. You have to stock a few different sizes with these, so they come in quite a few variety of lengths, 1-inch increments. This is a close nipple because the threads are continuous. This is a 3-inch nipple because it's 3 inches in length, 4-inch, etc. So you want to attach it into the ground to the fitting. It's important to get the right depth on a spray head. And this would be it right here, right about there. Now if you go too deep, it's going to reduce the lifespan of the head. You're going to have water sitting on top of the head. You're going to have some dirt flushing into the head more often, which wears it out a bit. And you also have premature plugging of the nozzle if it's a little deep because of the dirt as well. Now if you have it too high, that can reduce the lifespan of the head significantly when the mower comes along and takes it out. So too high is actually worse than too low, but just right is about right here. So that's your goal. There's another way to get these installed, and what we call is a cutoff nipple. Basically, you can buy these in hardware stores, and they have different heights that you can cut to the right height. So you install this end into the fitting below, and then you just basically decide how much depth you need, and you cut it accordingly. So let's say we need this height. Get a pair of cutoff tool or a knife, razor knife. And then there's another way, which I recommend, especially if you have a lawn tractor driving over or something heavy. It's called a swing joint, which gives it a bit of extra flexibility in the ground. And they actually install into the fitting. You can position them in the ground by flexing up and down. That's actually a good system as well. Another thing about spray heads is they come with what's known as a flush cap. So no, this is not a nozzle to water your lawn, which I've seen some people leave in to water their lawn and wonder why it wasn't watering that well. You actually, these are just for the initial installation to flush debris out of the lines that you might have got in during installation. Then you remove them and you put on your screen and your nozzle. We have a nozzle selection video at our website, smartirrigation.com, if you're interested in checking that out. And that's it. That's how you install spray nozzles.